and welcome to Rosberry Crafts, my YouTube channel where I share all my crafty adventures. Today, I have another interview for you, and this is Jenny. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi. Yes. As you said, I'm Jenny. My YouTube channel is Stitchcraft Gifts. I am a UK-based crocheter. I live in North Yorkshire in England and the UK with my husband and my son and our cat. And yeah, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram and various other places. I'm sure we can share links in it.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Awesome. Well, I always start off the show with, are you wearing anything handmade today? I don't know if you make garments, but
Well, not a lot. I've made a few bits. Unfortunately, not wearing any today. Most of what I've made so far is socks, which I love, but they are all in the wash at the moment.
darn.
Um, yeah, I do have a couple of other bits as well, but I'm not 100% happy with them, so I'm a bit wary about wearing them in
Yeah,
public, if you like. But I'm thinking of doing more, so hopefully in the future,
cool. Yeah,
we'll see.
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm wearing a shawl called the Apex shawl. It's hard to see because it's so big, but it's got this beautiful lace at the bottom. This is by Knox Mountain Knit Co., who are local designers to me. And this is out of Gauge Dye Works. It's a self-striping shawl specific yarn. So the yarn does all the work for you. You don't have to worry about color changes. And yeah, I have quite a few. She's local-ish. She's on Vancouver Island. So
Oh, that's lovely.
yeah.
I always see
Well,
your shorts. I see them on your podcast episodes. They're all brilliant.
thank you. Thank you. I should have taken pictures yesterday because I did my hand wash laundry yesterday and they were like all over the dining room table, all over the living room floor. They were just, it was like massive everywhere. Cool. All right. So we're going to get into a bit of a story time. How did you start crocheting?
Okay. So let's go way back to the beginning. Crochet I'm pretty new to. I uh very briefly knitted when I was very young. My granny taught me, but it never quite stuck. And then I went for years and years and years, just kind of dabbling in all kinds of different little crafty bits and pieces. Hadn't really heard of crochet. And then one of my very good friends from school started doing it years ago now. And then it got to, I think it was about 2019. And at that point, I'd been a full-time parent for 3 and a bit years. And our son was at preschool a bit, so I had a bit more spare time. And just I think as happens to a lot of people in that kind of situation, I felt like I kind of lost myself. I didn't really know who I was anymore.
Mhm.
Um, and I thought, you know what, I'll give this a go. I need something to fill a bit of time to do something for me. I like making pretty things. Let's give it a try. Picked up a hook and the rest is history. It just clicked. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, that's how a lot of us come to it is that we just try to figure out how different things fit into our lives, right?
Yeah.
Did you mostly learn like just by trial and error or going to classes or online?
All YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
All, all of YouTube. Initially anyway. Yeah, I spoke to my friend who'd been doing it and she said, just look, get yourself a cheap hook, get yourself some cheap yarn, get on YouTube and look up videos for beginners.
Yeah,
And
totally.
that's
Totally.
what I did. And um, since, I now can read patterns and, we'll do some work from books and we'll make things up myself and that sort of thing. But even so, if I'm looking at a new stitch or a new technique, I still turn to YouTube now. It's just
Oh
so much
yeah.
easier. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't told a lot of my own journey, but I've been knitting and crocheting since I was 6 when my grandma taught me kind of in and
Wow.
out of it. But even now, I'm like, oh, I need to graft a toe together. Where's my YouTube, right? Like, it's just
Yeah.
even just that reminder, or yeah, learning a new stitch. I'm doing a mystery shawl. It's on my lap right now, which is why I'm looking down. And I kept on like second guessing myself. Am I doing this stitch right? I don't know. And you know, it's a wonderful place. I send my friends that are learning to knit, like I'll teach them the basic stitch and then be like, okay, so when you get home and you get stuck, look it up on YouTube.
Absolutely. There's
Awesome.
so much on there. It's a great resource.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Do you have like a favorite knitting project or crocheting project? Or like one project that you go back to over and over again?
Um, I mean, there's so much. I'm a bit of a dabbler, I suppose. I'm always looking for something new to do. Um, I guess not necessarily a favorite project specifically, but I have kind of specific techniques I go back to.
Hmm.
Um, so my favorite maybe is mosaic crochet.
Oh wow.
Um, if I'm not sure what else to do, I'll quite often turn to mosaic as something to do. I enjoy doing it. I love how easily you can create really interesting designs. It works up reasonably quickly. It's always a good, I don't know, something to get teeth into if I'm not sure what else to be doing.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Have you had any disastrous projects
Um, I don't know that about oh, I don't know, disasters.
or challenges, maybe?
There's a lot of challenges always. Always challenges. I'm pretty lucky in that I don't think anything's gone horribly wrong. And I suppose the good thing about both knitting and crochet is that if it does, you just undo it and start
Hmm.
again.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's always, I don't know, learning a new stitch if it's a complicated one can be challenging. With a particular project actually I've brought up with me. Let's grab it here. This is something I made for Ned, my little boy, last year. I'm not entirely happy with it. This is an Ender Dragon from Minecraft.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you can see it's very funny, which, I got there in the end, but it could be better. But it just took such a long time, and there's so many fiddly little parts. And I don't know, I think things like this, the challenge is almost, I want it to be perfect, and it's never how I want it to be. And that can
Hmm.
be, I think it's more challenging mentally than physically, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, he's
For
happy with
sure.
it, so it's fine. But
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I find toys and anything that has small fiddly bits, um, just give me a big shawl with complicated lace and cables and I'm all in. A
yeah,
toy? Oh my goodness.
absolutely.
Yeah, I've made some. I actually made some toys in that were meant for fingering weight yarn in a bulky yarn because I was like, it's way easier.
It's bigger, yeah, easier to
Yeah,
handle. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. And I see you have some stash, etc. around you. Is that how you store most of your
It's a bit,
stuff?
yeah.
I know from your channel that you're work in progress, as all we are.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking and I have this is my craft room, this is where everything lives. So I do have dedicated space. Say that again, dedicated stash space. Um, I mean, there's more under my desk. There's a bit downstairs in my works in progress pile. There's
Hmm.
there's
Of
still
course.
yarn in the house, but yeah, most of it's over there, which is much better than at the old house where there were boxes in every room. I never knew where anything was, so
Mm,
it was chaos.
that's frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a shelf that you've put in there.
yeah, yeah. We
Yeah.
it's the traditional IKEA Kallax unit that everybody has.
Perfect. Yeah.
It works really well.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a cube option that is not a calyx. It's a
Similar.
modular thing. Yeah, it's like like a stretched plastic between, so it's a little
Mhm.
more lightweight. I definitely wouldn't put like books or anything in there, but then you can and it kind of clicks together so you can kind of make it like taller or wider or however for your space, which is kind of
Oh,
nice.
that's cool. That's handy. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought it off Amazon. I'm sure it was cheaper than Calyx, but it works. So
Whatever works. Exactly.
yeah.
Mm.
And do you have a favorite color or a color you often work in, or do you just kind of go with what your project is feeling?
So yeah, there's a bit of a conflict. My favorite color is this deep kind of winey red is my favorite
Okay.
color. Um, but I find it really hard to photograph. I
Hmm.
red in general, it never seems to work well on camera. I don't know why. Um, so I don't know, sometime last year maybe, I just thought, you know what, red's no good for the business side, so let's pick purple. Why not? Um, Purple actually used to be my favorite color when I was a teenager, so I guess I've just gone back to that. Um, so yeah, a lot of what you see on Instagram or on YouTube will have a lot of purples, blues, greys, that kind of color palette because I
Hmm.
find it shows up really well, and I do enjoy those colors. You know, they're nice to work with. Um, that said, I will work with anything.
Yeah,
If it is
yeah.
yarn and it is soft and it is squishy, I will work with it.
And do you sell most of your items, or do you have like kind of a mix between like, okay, this one's for me, this is my fun time stuff, and this is my work time stuff?
It's probably 50-50. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Um, I just like making things. I don't really care who
yeah,
it's for.
yeah. Perfect. That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You can see I've got this hat here. I made it. Nobody in my family wanted to wear it, so it's just waiting for a new home.
there you go. Perfect.
Yeah. What does your husband and your the rest of your family kind of think of you crocheting?
Oh,
Do
they're
you do
brilliant.
it when you're out places and
Yeah. Yeah, the family and friends are just happy that I'm happy, I think.
yeah.
Um, it makes Christmas and birthdays really easy for them because they know what to buy me. Uh, um, but yeah, they've all been really supportive of it. Uh, Ned, our son, as far as he's concerned, I've always crocheted. He doesn't really remember a time when I didn't, so it's just part of life.
Hmm.
Um, as for getting out and about, that's more difficult. I'd like to. I would happily crochet anywhere. Um, but with my vision issues that I have, light quality is a big problem for me. So it really depends where I am, how long I'm going to be there, what the setup can be like as to whether or
Hmm.
not I'm going to be able to.
Right. Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that and
Yeah, sure.
how that
Yeah.
affects your crafting life?
Yeah. Yeah, so a little bit of history. I have a condition called cone dystrophy, which affects the retinas, which is right at the back of your eye. It's the bit where the cones and rods live, which process all the um, all the signals coming into your eye and transmit it back to the nerves and up to your brain.
Hmm.
Um, in my case, it's the cones that are disintegrating and deteriorating, and those are the receptors that deal mostly with light and with color. So, oh, and they're also there, like more towards the middle of the eye.
Hmm.
So, I am now developing essentially a blind spot in the center of my vision. It's not completely gone yet, but it is going. I'm also losing color, quite slowly, um, but it is getting increasingly difficult to determine what color something is if I haven't already been told, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Um, and I am very sensitive to light these days. I can't go out in daylight without sunglasses and a pair of shields over the top and a hat if it's sunny, and it's a
Hmm.
whole outfit
Yeah.
leaving the house. Yeah. um, as for how it affects the crafting, I mean, I suppose the main ways really are, one is that I can't do it out and about as much as I'd like. You know, if we do go
Hmm.
on a long car journey, I can't really take it with me, which is a shame. Um, the colour thing, I will quite often get Kelvin, my husband, or I'll get Ned even to check colours for me and make sure I'm not doing something completely mad. Um, yeah. Is that green or not? Uh,
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I'm lucky in that at the moment I can still see fine detail, which obviously I need to be able to see to keep crocheting. There is that fear, I guess, in the back of my mind all the time that that is gonna go. Um, it is slow, hopefully, and will continue to be slow,
Hmm.
but I don't know how much longer I've got doing it, which is it's a
Yeah.
scary thought.
Yeah. And then I mean, obviously it affects your day-to-day life as well,
In all
you
kinds
know.
of ways. Yeah, yeah, God, I
Yeah.
could talk all day about that.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. Yeah. And driving and stuff
It
like
is
that
what it is,
isn't
you know.
possible.
Yeah,
Yeah. 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 But I mean, we all have challenges in our lives to overcome and
exactly.
or to deal with things that, obviously this is not going to be going away for you, but hopefully you can continue crafting
Yeah,
and
I mean,
figure out
as I
ways
said,
to
everybody's got. Sorry, you go.
get that's okay.
I can't
I was just
remember.
talking about keeping yarn in your hands.
Yes, yeah. Um, well, yeah, and like we say, you know, like you were saying, there's everybody's got challenges. There's always something to deal with. You just got to take each day as it goes, haven't you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
Awesome. And then do you find different yarn weights or the kind of texture of different yarn helps you to kind of like do you work in fingering weight yarn as well as thicker yarns or
Yeah, I actually prefer working with the finer weight yarns, which
oh okay.
probably going to be a downfall in the long run. um, I don't know. I think it looks nicer to be honest. Like the sort of delicate lacy effect you can get with fingering weight and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
say on average, the thickest I will go is DK, which for some people that's the place they'll go. um, yeah. That said, I will dabble in bulky weight, Aran weight every now and then. Depends what I'm making. Depends what the
Yeah,
project is.
cool. Awesome. Yeah, it's great. It's great to have lots of options. I have my yarn sorted in the back from smallest to biggest. So I don't
Yeah.
have I've been it's not as much bigger. I use a lot of fingering weight
Yeah.
yarn, but I'll knit with anything.
Yeah.
For
Absolutely.
sweaters and stuff, I don't mind a like thicker, chunkier sweater. But yeah, for shawls like this is fingering weight. It just makes a nice drapey, not too chunky thing to wear. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
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 And then my last kind of big question is what inspired you to start your YouTube channel?
Okay. This is a name that I suspect most people will have heard before. Um, it's a semi joke but semi serious that it is all the fault of Ali from Little Drops of Wonderful.
Hmm.
I don't know her personally at all, but I stumbled across her channel, oh, maybe 18 months ago, something like that, and just really loved watching it. Um, and then because of her, and because I enjoyed watching her videos, I then searched for more, started watching more crafty related YouTubers. And the more I watched, the more I started thinking, why aren't I doing this?
Yeah, for sure.
I love talking about crochet. Um, I don't know if anybody wants to listen, but I love talking about it. um, and so yeah, one day I just thought, you know what, stop thinking about it, get the camera out, let's just give it a go. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah,
And
yeah, for sure.
here we are, what, 6, 7, 8 months later, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep doing this for a long time, I reckon. It's good fun.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a great way to connect with people too, right? Like
Yeah,
the community that's out there. I don't know, the Yarny craft in general community is like the more the merrier. Everybody do it, right?
absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
there's it's not like the market's saturated. Everybody
No.
brings a slightly different project with different stuff and different personality, and
Yeah.
yeah, I love it
Yeah, and
too.
I haven't come across a single crafty related person who isn't really nice as well. Everybody
Mhm.
just seems to be lovely and
Yeah,
welcoming, and it doesn't
yeah.
matter where in the world you are or what
Mhm.
your speciality is or anything. We all just like to chat.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. And I've been to a few like festivals and retreats and stuff, and it's always the same at those too, right? Like everybody is just I don't know what it is that if the type of people that come to those things or are chatting here on YouTube. I know that some of the bigger maybe YouTube channels get some of that, people who are not so nice on the internet. But
Sure.
for the most part, it's always a very supportive, welcoming community for
Yeah,
whoever you are. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and I think that sense of community is it's really important. Um, I think obviously when COVID hit a few years ago, the online community became even more important because it was a way of staying in touch.
Hmm.
Um, and then since then, again, going back to the vision, getting out and about is tricky for me. And so being able to talk to people online about something that I really love, it just makes everything so much better. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Mm.
Awesome. And are you currently working on anything?
Yes. Always, always. I have several projects on the go at all times. Um,
Good, good.
I am trying to narrow that a little bit at the moment and try and just focus on two or three so that I do actually get things finished because I am terrible for getting about three-quarters of the way through something and then just moving on to something else.
Yeah.
So I've got, oh, what have I got? I'm testing a blanket pattern at the moment. That one's nearly done. I've got another toy that I'm making for a friend. There is a patchwork style blanket I'm making for my grandma. There's a couple of other bits and pieces going on. And then the other thing I brought to show, I thought I'd bring another thing to show. This is a very long-term work in progress. I don't know how long it's going to take to get done. Um, which way around is it? That way. I've been working on this for some time. This is
Wow.
it's called the Sacred Space. Um, was originally released as a
Oh, did we lose you again?
oh, so that was quite a few years ago. So I'm just
Oh.
going through it at my own. Um, as you can probably tell, it's another fingering weight project.
Hmm. Hmm.
um, and yeah, this is kind of my I don't know, when I'm feeling a bit fed up with everything else and I just want to do something for me project, this is what I turn to at the moment.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay, how much of that did we catch?
The holding up the beautiful blanket or shawl or whatever you want to call it, and then, but I didn't catch the name of the pattern.
Oh, sure. It's the Sacred Space Make Along. Um,
Okay,
I've completely forgotten the designer's name, but I can send you the
that's okay.
information.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
link to it down below. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And
that
what yarn are
cool.
you using? Is it a gradient? It's all good.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so yeah, that the blanket is beautiful.
thank you.
I'm also working on something purple and white.
Yay.
That's the backside, but it's huge too. So
Oh, that's
I'm in
lovely.
the middle of a row, so it looks funny. But
Yeah,
yeah, this is the Northern Knits podcast is doing a mystery knit along.
sure.
So
Yeah,
that's what
that's
yeah, I'm on the fifth skein. I got one more that's even darker than this one. So
nice.
yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
then
that's really lovely.
Yeah, it'll be done. It's going to be huge, way bigger than what I normally wear, but figure it out. All right. Well, I think that's all the questions I had for today. Do you have anything else you wanted to chat about?
I don't think so. No, it's just been
Perfect.
really lovely to chat. It's great.
Yeah, thank you for joining me today, and I'm sure we'll see you around the interwebs.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for having me. It's been really fun.
Yeah, good. Awesome.